Because if you ever ask me to cancel a sequence order, we're fighting. We're fighting and we're no longer friends. Delete my number, forget I existed, you're dead to me. Welcome and welcome back. You're probably wondering, why is there a pencil under my embroidery machine? Well, I'm doing a sequence applique design, and I most certainly am not going to stick my fingers under this machine to hold down the fabric. I did that once on my single needle, and I very quickly learned the hard way. Don't ever do that again. But I say all that to say that I am very excited to be trying a sequence applique design, and I got this sequence from Kiki Textiles. If you're anywhere on TikTok or Instagram, you know that this is the go-to sequence. Right here, I have the iridescent white, and I am putting this on a Gildan heavy cotton t-shirt for a mama applique design. And let me tell you right here, these are my original Poolin scissors. I don't have the right applique scissors, and I knew that going into this, but I was so eager to try out the sequence that, I thought I'll buck up and I'll do it. Never again. The right cutting tools are 1,000% required for this job, because what could have taken me, I want to say maybe 5 minutes for my first sequence applique, probably took me about a good 30 minutes. I'm probably exaggerating. Maybe it was more like 10-15, but I struggled. And I know that that is because I was not using the proper tools. And I also did not leave enough excess on my edges, so I wasn't really able to lift the fabric to cut the ends. I was trying to conserve as much fabric as possible because Kiki Textiles is expensive per yard. It's like $25 for the high density. But I didn't leave myself enough room to be able to grab the sequence fabric and then cut off the edges. So my edges were kind of rough. I always end up cutting my tack down stitches. That's just how I cut. I can't even draw a straight line. So here's what we have. Again, kudos to those of you that do this on the regular and the bulk of your embroidery work is sequence applique, because without the proper scissors and the cleanup tools, like this little vacuum, the best $10 I have ever spent at Ollie's. I mean, I did order the Ganger applique scissors. I ordered 2. I got a small 4-inch curved tip, and I got the double curved 6-inch tips. So hopefully new scissors will make this process easier. But this is the new Super Mom applique design. This design is from Tanish Forston from Embroidery Mastery. I am a part of her community. I do highly recommend it. I feel like I am learning a lot. I am growing a lot within that community, specifically for people who already have an embroidery business or just really are embroidery focused. So at this point, another tip that she has is to use water soluble when you're doing your final satin stitches, and this helps the needle kind of glide over the sequins a lot smoother. It helps prevent those needle breaks and the thread shedding. I will say this is the first time I'm using this machine for sequins, so I did slow down my machine just to give it the best opportunity, and I didn't have a single needle break. I did, however, have some thread shreddage going on, and that was more towards the last letter. So I am just using the one single purple color, so it probably just like exhausted itself out stitching over all of the letters. But again, that wasn't until like the very last letter. So I would say at some point I might try going back to my titanium needles, because that's what I was using for my single needle machine, and I've never had an issue unless the needle was old. But as far as this machine goes, it handled the sequence very well. The design stitched out very well. even with my janky cutting, like the satin stitch that was applied in the design was so forgiving, and I'm really grateful for that. So now that the stitching is done, I'm going to remove the water soluble so that we can stitch out the word super. It's in a script font and it goes in the knockout space in between mom. And again, once we got to this point, I sped the machine up. I think we were at like 800 or 900 at this point because this machine, the Poolin EOM, has no problem with stitching. I've had it for about a week now and I am extremely happy with my purchase. Alright, we are going to unload the machine. Here's what we're looking at. So what I have to do now is clean up the remainder of the water soluble that is within the letters. So I'm just using some, I don't know, I think these are like Cricut tweezers, whatever the case may be, just to help pick up the additional solvay and pull it out from the letter stitching. And then after that, we will unhoop it. I'm going to lint roll it some more, trying to get some of that excess, I guess, sequins dusting off. And then we'll clean up the stabilizer in the back. And I do still burn my stitches at the end. I just feel like it helps lock it in tight. And this is the final result. All in all, for my first sequins applique, this went really, really well, aside from cutting the sequins fabric. But I'm gonna give it another go. I'm gonna wait for these scissors to arrive. They should probably be coming sometime on Tuesday, but I am gonna give this another shot. There are a couple of other designs that I've been meaning to try to do with sequins. Stay tuned, follow for more. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in my next tutorial. Bye.